Good morning, everybody. Today this video is about dealing with a common problem, especially with GPU miners, as well as standard server/ATX build-outs for PCs and above, and some of a valuable tool that I have here, which is a CoolMax ATX style and output power connector tester. Now, there are two ways you can do this, and that is with an Ohms meter, which is great for those guys like myself who know how to use them. And they do the voltage, they can do the amperage, they can do the ohmage, and so on. That's that little guy right there. And that's kind of a process. It can be rather tooling based and can offer some complications. But this guy is for the person who just needs to quickly test their ATX power supply, their AT power supply, and so on, so they can continue doing what they're doing. And this is what I recommend, the CoolMax ATX power supply connectors in plural, and I'll show that to you now. You've got your 16-pin AT style output power connector, which will test power supplies that have aged or platforms. You also have your 20-pin output, which is the more ATX style and more modern power supply outputs of today. You also have your 3-pin, which is right there. Correction, 4-pin, and you have your Molex 4-pin right here, and then of course you have your programmable interface cabling in the back. So what this little guy basically does is he is a parasitic test tool that is critical in regards to using the power provided to it by the potential power supply that may not be working right. So it's very, it works, it doesn't, and when it does work, it will report in LED format here your voltage loads of 3.3, 5, and 12, and it allows you to do pretty much all aspects of this power supply that you need to test. There are many different formats of power supplies, but they all follow the same standard in regards to connectivity wise for the most part. Server power supplies could have an additional output, and you may come across what we call 4-pinners, which are like these 4, 6, and 8-pinners. Those would have to be tested in a different way. Now, as you look here, you see the Molex interface here, and that's important because this particular CoolMax guy does not do SATA connectivity power connectors, and that looks like this. As you can see, that's for a SATA drive or a SATA device. Now, the way to get around that is a splitter, something like this, that will go onto a Molex connection, or in this case, the SATA connection. You get the male head on one end, and then it splits out into one Molex and one SATA. And then you plug the Molex into the ATX power supply tester to test if that line is bad. So that's a way you can get past that if you want to buy the lower cost, cheaper / older tester of the CoolMax series. And the new one also has the SATA interface connection tester, and there are also additional ones out there which can do the 4, 6, and 8 to make sure they're working correctly. Now that's for the miners in the game. You'll also find that NASs like this device here from Seagate also have a very similar power supply setup, and that you can test them the same way, except for extended power output connectors. Those are usually proprietary on 3 pins like CPU fans and so on. You would have to use the Ohms meter at that level. At this point in stage, this is just a quickie for you guys. This is how we take what we think is complicated and show how easy it really can be handled and worked with. I hope you enjoy this. I'll let you go. Bye.